I started dating my wife when she was 13. My wife, now 27, and I, 37, have been married happily for about 5 years. But our relationship began when she was 13 and I was 23. We are still deeply in love with each other and we don't regret the past. Once I graduated from university, I immediately moved overseas to complete my master's and also found a small teaching position at one of the more competitive middle schools in the city where I was studying. I taught English initially and eventually history once I had learned the language well enough. I also tutored on the side so I could have some travel money. For the sake of anonymity, I'll call my wife Lily. During the winter of my first year teaching, she transferred to my English class. Admittedly, she was an adorable kid at the time, yet my feelings for her were limited to the admiration a teacher naturally has for their students. One day towards the end of the school year, Lily and her mother came and found me after school to ask if I could tutor Lily privately. As I needed the money and Lily was so fun to teach, I accepted and we began classes that summer. Over the next year, I seemed to become a part of the family. Besides simply tutoring Lily, they would invite me out to dinners, short outings around the city, and so on. At first, it was overwhelming, and I tried to politely decline their invitations as it seemed to surpass what would be appropriate under most circumstances. But they were relentless. Her parents' trust in me became almost absolute. I must have been charismatic at that age, because I made no conscious effort to appease them. They would occasionally be absent during our lessons, so Lily and I spent a fair amount of time alone. We would mostly stick to the material I prepared, but sometimes we would both get bored with it and talk casually. Naturally, we became close and comfortable with one another. Months went by and I started feeling a strong connection with her. We bonded over many things: paintings, music, novels, and attitudes towards life. Her entire outlook was well beyond her age. At first, I told myself it was a sort of elderly brother's care that I was feeling or a fatherly instinct, but I was clearly in denial that I could be attracted to someone so young. One evening we got on the topic of cooking and it turned out she had never learned to cook anything before, so I thought it would be a great opportunity to teach her vocabulary for a new setting. We went into the kitchen and I taught her to make scrambled eggs. She was doing a poor job of stirring, so I tried to take the spatula away from her, but she insisted on doing it herself. So I stood behind her and guided her hand in the proper motion. Then, spatula still in hand, and for no reason other than that we were particularly close to each other, she turned around in my arms and kissed me. Deeply, I was too shocked to do anything and just accepted it. We stood like that for a few more seconds, kissing slowly. Then I came to and pulled away. She immediately began apologizing, as apparently I had a very concerned look on my face. I remember saying some nonsense about student-teacher relationships and that I was too old for her, or she would meet someone her own age soon, but to my surprise I had enjoyed it very much despite simultaneously feeling very guilty about the whole thing. I told myself I should have kept our relationship more professional, but looking back I don't think anyone can really say there was anything unhealthy about it. Going against my instincts, I brought myself to acknowledge my feelings for her.